right, so we are going to do some roasted veggies to go with this. This is sort of an optional side. You could do a salad instead of this if you still wanted a nice solid vegetable. But this is nice because it's something that can be cooked ahead of time. It won't hold quite as much of a crispness if you do what we're doing, but it's something that you can do ahead of time. You can keep it in a bowl and then you can just either bump it in the oven or bump it in the microwave and just reheat it right before you eat. So that is what we're doing. We have got some pre-cut Brussels sprouts. So we like to have basic ideas of what it is that we're going for when we go to buy the vegetables for this, but then sort of keeping an open mind about it is great. So we have the Brussels sprouts. They were already cut and they were on sale, so we just went ahead and did that. We've got some red onion, some carrot, and then some apples. And I like adding the apples just because it adds a hint of sweetness and just sort of tones down all of the root vegetable-ness that we're doing here. You could do butternut squash. That's actually what I was planning on, but forgot to bring that, so we did carrots instead. So just kind of half and half on the sheet pans. And so with roasted vegetables, really we're just doing some sprinkling of oil. You can do, I like the flavor of olive oil. You don't want to drown it in oil or anything, but just enough that you'll be able to coat it by tossing it. And then we're gonna do some kosher salt. And again, I don't really tend to measure, just kind of sprinkle it over top because you do want it to be flavorful enough. Not super salty, but flavorful enough. And then we've got some pepper. You could leave the pepper off if you wanted no spice whatsoever, but it does add some nice flavor. And then I have been adding cinnamon to my roasted vegetables this fall, and I really like that. I think if you don't do too much of it, it doesn't make it an overpoweringly strong flavor of cinnamon, but it just makes it a really interesting flavor. So that is what I'm doing for these. So once you've got everything on there, then I go back through and I just sort of toss it with my fingers to get it coated in spice and olive oil. Again, I'm doing it on parchment paper because that's my favorite. And it's just gonna make the cleanup so much easier. It helps the vegetables get nice and crispy. And so these are gonna go in the oven at 425. We're putting it in with roasted chicken, so we'll be able to, they can roast at varying temps. So we're just gonna put it in there. If we need to change the oven for anything and the vegetables are not done, they'll be fine at another temperature. So, but for right now, we'll start them at 425. And we're just looking for them to get tender. We'll toss them every now and then with a spatula. We're just looking for them to get kind of crisp on the outside, tender all the way through, and but a nice little bite. We don't want it to just be mush or blackened. So middle ground is what we're going for. All right, so we are checking on, we are blindly checking on our roasted veg. And what we're gonna do here is just toss it. We have this lovely convection oven, so we're not having to rotate it as much, but we are gonna still toss it and stir it up so that it's nice and evenly cooked. It doesn't burn too much on the bottom or anything. Put this one back in. And so it's going very well. We just want to cook it a little bit longer. So we'll check on this in another 15 minutes probably and see where it is. We've bumped the oven back up for something else, so it will start cooking at a faster rate again. So we will want to check on it. So if this is something you're afraid you're going to forget, just set a timer for another 10 or 15 minutes and you'll be good to go. So our veggies, I believe, are done. They are a nice golden color. They look like they're nice and soft. color on them, but they're not burned. And they've shriveled just a little bit. So this is what we're looking for, especially since we're gonna reheat them later. We wanna make sure that they're not just total mush. So there we have it.